So Ben Carson was at a committee hearing, and he's the head of Housing and Urban Development. And Democratic Representative Katie Porter asked him some questions, and the exchange did not go so well.
To get back to me, if you don't mind, to explain the disparity in REO rates. Do you know what an REO is?
An Oreo?
No, not an Oreo. An REO. REO.
Real estate?
What's the O stand for?
Organization?
Owned. Real estate owned. That's what happens when a property goes to foreclosure. We call it an REO. Mm-hmm. And FHA loans have much higher REOs. That is, they go to foreclosure rather than to loss mitigation or to non-foreclosure alternatives like short sales than comparable loans at the GSEs. So I'd like to know why we're having more foreclosures that end in people losing their homes with stains to their credit and disruption to their communities and their neighborhoods at FHA than we are at the GSE.
If you don't know what a REO is, that's totally fine, because this isn't your wheelhouse. This isn't your field of expertise. Ben Carson is the head of Housing and Urban Development, and this is a standard foreclosure term. And he thought she said Oreo. Do you know what a REO is? Oreos? Ben, wake up, man. Wake up. Sleepy Ben Carson has never been more sleepy in his entire life. I mean, he was like deep in REM sleep as she was asking that question. Do I know what Oreos are? Secretary Carson? Oh, me? Oh, I love me some Oreos. But I like Milanos a lot more. I think they're better. Have y'all ever had the rainbow cookies? Y'all ever had the rainbow cookies? He thought she said Oreos, man. What the fuck? This is what happens when you put a fucking surgeon in charge of housing and urban development. And just to be clear, you know why he did it, right? You know why Trump did it. It's housing and urban development. So Trump sees Ben Carson and he goes, yeah, we need somebody for the head of housing and urban development. It's a tremendous position, very prestigious position. It's unbelievable. You love to see it. You love to see the head of housing and urban development. And he goes, urban, where are my urbans? Do I have, Ben Carson, he's black. Does that make sense? Let's put the black guy in charge of housing and urban development. He's urban. Black is urban. We're going to go with him. I guarantee you that was his thinking. The word urban is in there and he thinks urban equals black. Ben Carson's black. We're good. But this is what happens. Do I know what an Oreo is? I think they're tasty. Clown show. The clown show moves on. You've never had the myth busted up in a stronger way. The myth of, oh yeah, when you're a kid, you think like, oh, they know what they're doing. People who like run the country and shit, of course. They got to that position. It makes sense that they're in those positions. Blind leading the blind. That's what's happening.